to the program, what I want you to look at is this is kind of the cycle that most businesses run through. And if you're having trouble seeing it in the back, first we've got planning, and then there's assistance where we don't all do it alone. We have some help with this. And then we have to drive some traffic. We've got to capture the leads from that traffic. We've got to then start to nurture that relationship with those prospects. And then hopefully, once they know us and like us and trust us, they'll convert to a client. We convert the sale, and then we have to actually deliver something, right? We took their money, and we have to deliver on the goods and satisfy them. And hopefully, there's an opportunity or a relation to upsell them. And then from there, we can also get referrals, and then just the ongoing management of the business. So what I'd like you to do is look at these items and identify which one is giving you the most grief. You know, where's your bottleneck in your business, where if you can open that one or two areas, would really make an impact for you. Okay, so kind of get that in mind. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you some strategy around the planning and some websites for these different areas that you may or may not know about that you can start to explore and put into play. And I want this to be somewhat interactive, so if there's a site that you know of, just like you shared Square, or what was the one you called it? Ecwid. You know, if you know stuff that has helped you open up your bottleneck in any of these areas, please share it with us. That's what this is all about, is sharing. Okay? So, usually I do a course on business planning that takes a couple hours, so you're going to get a couple hours in like 5 minutes, okay? But I want you to just kind of catch what the key components are so that when you go back and do your plan or adjust your plan, there's some resources that you'll have, but there's some key areas that you need to really get clear on. And there's a saying that I love that says, when you're clear on what you want will show up, and only to the extent that you're clear. So it's all about getting it lined up in here, and when that happens, crazy stuff out there starts to support us. Okay? I mean, we're all from California, so I've had to leverage the California woo-woo. It works. I mean, I go out nationally talking about this stuff, and I can share with you stories where when people got it straightened up in their mind and put it out there, that things just started showing up and happening. It's really pretty cool. So here's business planning. I love this quote, but it says, planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. So what I would challenge you, let me ask this, how many people have actually got their 2012 business plan written? Okay. And this is a room full of business people. Okay. You're supposed to have a plan, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save you a little bit and let you know that you can create a plan real simple. You can get it on one page, and the 6 elements that you need to know are on the left here. I'm going to explain what they are, because really they're just key questions that you need to be able to answer. And if you can answer those questions, then you're on your way, because that's going to help provide alignment for you. The links on the right are a couple online business planning tools that are out there. Kind of some free, some for fee. But you know, if you want a tool online to help you build your plan, you can go to these. There's plenty of others, but these are ones that I've worked with and I like, and clients seem to get some impact from it. Now, when it comes to business plans, you know, I've seen all kinds of plans. You know, 38-page plans, you know, 1-page plans. I'm a big proponent of the smaller and the tighter, the better. Because if it's something that you'll actually look at and review on an ongoing basis, in other words, have it ubiquitous where it's just always with you, you have a much better chance at actually executing on it. So of all of the different plans that are out there that we've worked with, these are the 6 key elements that we always come across. Okay, there's a vision and a mission. And what we mean by a vision and a mission, because you know, you ask 10 different business experts, what's the difference between a mission and a vision, and you get 14 answers. So for our purposes, we explain that a vision answers the question, where are you headed over the next, say, 3 to 5 years, and what do you want it to look like when you get there? And think of it with regards to how much money or revenue do you want to be generating, Who are your ideal clients? What markets do you serve? What business are you really in? What's your unique differentiator? In other words, why would I pick Russ versus anybody else that does what he does? You want it to be very unique and differentiating. The mission statement is a timeless statement with regards to why your business exists. Why your business exists. And I'm going to play off what Susie said, that Ryan said, with regards to, well, what's the value? Okay? A great way to look at a mission statement is taking what you do better than anybody else, and what's the benefit that that provides for your ideal client. And if you can match up those two, you've got a really solid mission statement. And the mission statement is usually preceded by the phrase, we serve our ideal clients by blank. Okay, so if you can answer that phrase, we serve our ideal clients by doing what you do so brilliantly, and how the clients benefit. I'll give you an example. One of my clients, we did this a couple weeks ago. He's a financial planner, and he does most of his business through retirement planning seminars. The guy's an amazing comedian. I mean, if he wasn't a financial planner, he could probably make more money going on the circuit. So he loves educating people. He loves entertaining people. And what his clients get as a result of that is financial peace of mind. So his mission statement is edutaining financial peace of mind. Okay? Now, if you're his ideal client and you like somebody that's got a great sense of humor and can help you understand concepts and provide you financial peace of mind, you're going to light up, and that's going to be a nice marriage. If you want somebody, stodgy and uptight and blah blah, this is not the guy for you. And that's part of the mission, is allowing you to be a first-rate version of who you are, who your business is, rather than a second-rate version of somebody else, or trying to be somebody else. So it allows you to stay authentic. The values are the key areas in your business of what you stand for. Okay? Roy Disney used to say that when your values are clear, your decisions are easy. So if you know what's important to you in your business, and your clients, and your community, and so forth, and you have 2, 3, or 4 key areas, it's going to help you make those tough decisions when you come up to them by just looking at what are my values, and do they line up. Now, in any business plan, you're going to have goals, objectives. Some people call them key performance indicators. That's just a technical, fancy way of saying a goal. The trick is, that answers the question, over the next 12 months, what do we want to measure? What do we want to make sure gets accomplished? And with your goals, that's where you want to create a scorecard or some kind of a tracker. And so, in other words, it needs to be measurable. If you can't measure it, it's not a well-written goal. Okay? And then, bringing that down to the runway level, strategy answers the question, how are we going to accomplish the goals that we set? By the way, you don't want too many goals. I think 4 or 5 to keep your focus on throughout the year are plenty. You'll have a lot of projects, but as far as the main goals, keep it to 4 or 5. Strategies are going to tell you how you're going to accomplish those goals, and then you need to bring it down to the runway level with tactical action projects. Okay? So how many people here have a to-do list? Okay? How's that list working with regards to you checking everything off each day?
I love to check it off.
Anybody have a list where things kind of roll over from day to day, to week to week?
Year to year.
Okay. Year to year, right?
Lifetime.
So here's what I want you to catch. Most people, when I go into an executive's office and we're looking at their list, most of their lists are project lists, and they don't even know it. Okay, they're lists of all these projects, and a project is something that has more than one action item to it. But if you're not clear on what all the action items are, you're going to go numb to it. You'll find something else to do that's more pleasing. So the trick is to identify the project, and then what are all the sub-actions or the punch list underneath it, and then do each project, or excuse me, each action as you can. Okay? Because most people will avoid, as humans, we hate being out of control. So we will avoid that feeling of being out of control. And if on our list there's all these projects, but we don't know what the next actions are, we'll go off and do all kinds of stupid stuff. And that list just stays there. So if you can find out where you're tripping up and then say, okay, well, what's the next best action, and start to flesh it out that way, or imagine you've got another one of you that you're just going to give the list to while you go off and have fun. What needs to be on that list for that other you to get it done? Okay, so that's a great way to approach it. So, like I say, those are some other sites that you can go to. They all kind of line up with this kind of a model to help you get clarity with regards to your vision, your mission, and so forth. Growthink.com is probably, you would love growthink.com if you haven't seen it. As far as having content and ranking, and the guy's brilliant. He's nailed it. There's tons and tons and tons of information on that site around business plans. So if you're wanting to get an education, that's a great site to go to. All right, assistants. How many people have more than one assistant in this room? Okay, how many people have more than 2 assistants? How many people have more than 3 assistants? Okay.
Define assistant.
Assistants. Well, I have 10 assistants. They're all right here. But what I mean by assistants is somebody that you can hand off to get something done. So the trick is, I have something we call the zone of brilliance. I stole it from Jim Collins in his book, From Good to Great. What does he call it? He calls it your sweet spot. But it's where, if you can imagine a Venn diagram, right, the 3 circles that overlap. The first circle is your purpose, in other words, what you're really great at doing. The next circle is the P, what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing. And if you can imagine, if you made those lists and they overlapped, you start to shrink the list a little bit, and then you look at that list and say, okay, of those, what's my high profit or high revenue producing activities? And then that shrinks that list even more, and then the dissection of those 3 bubbles give you your zone of brilliance. I think of it as the rock star, right? What are you great at doing in your business? That's all you should be doing, and everything else you should be hiring out, if you can. Okay, I realize that's not always possible, but that's what you want to strive for. And the reality of it is there's somebody else that does what you suck at, and they love doing it, and they're brilliant at it. So the trick is finding those people, getting them on your team. So, and then the 4th P is this big circle around the 3 circles in the Venn diagram, and that's your professional aspect. There's certain things that you and only you can do, and you can't delegate it out. In other words, if you need licenses for your profession, you can't have somebody else go get your continuing education. It's something you have to do. You may not be good at it, you may not like it, but you still have to do it. So, these websites are basically places that you can go to get help. Okay, like virtual assistant. Anybody here have or work with a virtual assistant? Okay, I have 3 virtual assistants, 2 in San Diego, 1 in Phoenix. 2 of them I haven't even met, and they do a lot of work for me, stuff that I suck at and they're great at. Okay, and it keeps things moving forward. You had a question?
I just wanted you to rename the 3rd circle.
Purpose, passion, profit, and the big bubble is professional. You got to keep it professional, otherwise we don't last very long in business. Okay, so these are, again, just sites that you can go to outsource certain work, certain projects. Go online, check them out. They'll help you in big ways. Again, you're going to have this PowerPoint available to you, so you can click on these links and go check the stuff out yourself. But give thought to, do you need assistance and where can you get it?
Just a quick comment. One of the things I find, like, I've worked over this year to try to get more organized with my projects and tasks, and especially when I work with clients, just a lot of times the process of designing basically a request for proposal on one of these sites, saying I need to articulate this task so that somebody who doesn't know my business can understand compartmentally what I want them to do, can help you a lot, because then you can start tasking those things out, and you might find, oh, now that I've written the description of what I need done, oh, that's only going to take me a half hour to do. Whereas until you do that, a lot of times it is overwhelming when you have projects and you're just like, wow, which end do I start on?
Great point.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you've got your plan and you've got some assistance on board, a good way to identify kind of what assistance you might need is create an organizational chart for yourself. Okay, don't worry about who's going to fill in the different spots in the organization, but look at what are the roles that need to be executed upon to move your business forward. And create those roles, and then think about, well, who can fill those roles? And you're probably going to end up filling a lot of them yourself. But there's probably some that you might be able to outsource or get a virtual assistant or check it out to Elance or Freelancer and help you in that way. Okay, attracting traffic. This is Corion's expertise with regards to helping your site and your marketing efforts and social media drive people to your site and attract the traffic. But there's other things that you can do in addition to what Corion's going to talk about. So you can write articles, get articles published. If you don't know, I write an article in the Union every Monday that shows up. I get a lot of business from that. I get a lot of phone calls from that. I get speaking gigs from that. Okay, so that's one of the ways that I attract traffic into our business. You can do trade shows. Okay, those can be a boom or a bust. So there's a site in this list here where you can go and check out and learn how to really do trade shows more effectively. If you're inclined to write a book, write a book. Okay, it's a great calling card. It's a business card on steroids, really. And it doesn't mean that you actually have to write the book. Most of the books you see on bookshelves and bestsellers are not written by the person whose picture is on the book. Okay, they just had the subject matter expertise. They hired somebody to interview them and then write the book, and they've got powerhouse marketing efforts behind it. Centers of influence. Who are people that might know people that you need to know that can introduce you and get you into where you need to be seen and propped up in the right fashion? Know who your centers of influence are. Have some marketing plans around how to interact with them more effectively. I have certain people that I interact with on a quarterly basis because I know they can put me in front of the right decision makers. Okay, so they're always on my list. SPs are strategic partnerships. Who does what you do but maybe a little differently or complements what you do? Think about partnering with them. One of the things that I like to look at is, when I'm helping coach a business, is look at what you do. Like, let's take Andrew's business, plumbing, as an example. When somebody hires a plumber, if you open their checkbook or looked at their credit card statement, there's people that they spent money with before Andrew's company got there, and there's people that they spend money with after they got there. So I want to know who they're spending money with regards to that kind of area, with regards to the service that I offer, because it's going to leave clues. So those are strategic partners. So think of suppliers and other service-oriented people that can fit into there. Public relations is huge. Okay, and there's a difference between public relations and marketing. Actually, PR is kind of part of the marketing cycle, but PR is getting good press. Cheryl's a master at helping businesses get good press. If you don't know what Cheryl does, you need to. She can help you. Surveys are another wonderful way to drive people and get some clarity with regards to getting traffic. And then e-zines and newsletters, both online and offline, hard copy. So again, there's sites that you want to check out to look at how you can attract traffic. And again, these are kind of away from what the real thrust of Nevada County Online is and what we're going to continue to dive into in months going forward. But these are things that you need to know about that will complement what we're going to dive in going forward. Do you want to say them? Didn't see that slide.
Your bullet point.
Shouldn't have supposed to do.
Did you get
Surprise.
You're supposed to do.
I didn't look at it. Okay, I had family issues. Want me to talk about attracting traffic for a little bit?
Well,
I know we're talking about tools. I was going to go through the
yeah,
tools.
that's what I want you to do, is just
Okay.
go through the tools.
So slightly different. So
We
attracting
need
traffic.
to get on the...
Yeah, if I can get online, it would be awesome. So while he's setting that up, I didn't do my homework. I had a daughter who decided she didn't want to go to school this morning. She had a mental health day. So, she's at my office hour, my wife picked her up, so that chewed up my morning. I love tools, and it's something that getting yourself organized and finding the right tools for the right jobs, like that list of press release websites, I'm so eager to look through all the different things that are on there, because once you can get your head around which tools work well. And one of the things, okay, so let me start here. So if you guys haven't been there yet, I recently launched my internet marketing website, both to be able to showcase what I do, attract customers, but also particularly there's been a big drive to make sure that my resources, my tools are more available to people. So people who have taken my classes come out with a PowerPoint and a big to-do list, but I want to make sure that as I'm developing new tools and as I'm figuring out new ways to attract traffic, that I'm posting that. So one of the things I would start with is internet marketing resources. I want to show two things here. First, if you want to see a brief view of my perspective about how to make more money from your website, this is a great tool. How many people here use SlideShare? Okay, so it's a free tool that allows you to have a PowerPoint, that you can take a PowerPoint, really easily share it on your website, and then the thing I really like is that you can insert videos between any slides that you want. So for example, when I did that presentation for the Alpenglow client, I could have some of those stuff. So that's an example. It's slideshare.net. So that's a way that you can be able to use a tool you may be familiar with. It's fairly easy, PowerPoint, and then maybe shoot a short video. So imagine if I was a potential client and I created a quick page on my website saying, hey, here's 5 slides about the benefits I'll bring to you, and then I'll shoot a low quality 45-second video just saying, hey, call me if you want to learn more, but these are the things that I can do to help your business. So the technology and the tools are there. This particular page goes through kind of my online marketing perspective. And then one thing that kept, when Machen was talking about that getting help section, really encourage you to read this article. I use LinkedIn for a lot of things that were on Machen's list. How many people here have LinkedIn? How many people here don't have LinkedIn profiles? Raise your hands. Okay, we got one. So pretty much everybody's there. Great.
But ask how many people like it.
Even if something's useful, if you don't like something, if it's useful, there can be ways around it. There's lots of things that I get annoyed by online that I don't like, but I still use them if they work. So LinkedIn has a section called LinkedIn Answers. How many people have ever either posted or responded to an answer there? All right. So my perspective as far as LinkedIn Answers, it's a way to solve any of your business problems. So Brian Gilling, who's here, is also another way to solve any of your business problems.
Well, I took Corian's input about, we put some questions up, and from the world, I got over 200 responses, and I would say of the 250 were very beneficial to me personally, to my client. I don't have paying clients, but the person I was trying to help.
Thanks.
All because of Corian's one meeting we had in his office, he went, as usually does. I can pick my nose quicker than he can type the message.
I do type fast. But here you go. Here's this PowerPoint that summarizes what's here. So again, this is a way that I've decided to have people learn the way they learn best. So if you learn a PowerPoint, I've written an article, it's easy for me to throw that on the page with SlideShare. My point for LinkedIn Answers, it's a place where you can be able to post a question that then people scramble to give you high quality answers because it's in their benefit to build up their prestige, showing that they can answer questions well within their areas of expertise. And also a lot of times it's their way of generating leads and nurturing leads. So in that section, you can be able to post whatever you want. So for example, I posted some questions for Nico, saying a venue in a tourist destination in the Sierras wants to be able to get more events and be able to network more. We got great responses, like somebody who turned us on to, there's an organization of event organizers, that people will be members of that, so you can go to the organization and find out, oh, who in that area is one of your registered people. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this tool. Again, anything that you're going to spend time in business thinking about that it's not your expertise, I like formulating a question and then just letting it go for a week or two, coming back to it and finding out who has answered the question. And then talking about partnerships, I posted a question for somebody about internet marketing. One of the guys that responded was a guy named Nigel Davey. He is an internet marketer in the UK, and his marketing focus is to go to existing clients with real businesses and surveying the customers to find out what products and services they're buying from other vendors that are offered by his client. So go to your existing client base, find out what they need, and then you can customize what you do and how you approach them, saying, oh, I didn't know you were a web design company, but we also do graphic arts. Let us have a meeting with you because you already know how well we do with web design. That kind of approach is totally different than what I do. So now he's somebody who's got me to help him with search marketing stuff, and I've got somebody going, oh, if I've got the right client with an existing good customer base, that sounds like a great way to make more money, because I can just hook them up with somebody who is much better at that than I could ever be. All right, let me do one other set of tools. I don't know how much longer I've got. So one of the main tools that I use and I teach is Google Docs. How many people here have never used Google Docs? Okay, great. So what it is, and Mason, I'm signing to you, but you've got my the file that I was going to look at. It's perfect. Google Docs is a way that you can be able to create spreadsheets, Word documents, and presentations that you can share with a group of people. So for example, after this meeting, we are doing a meeting to plan out what we want for the NevadaCountyOnline.com website. We now have graphs and information that any of us can go in that are part of this process and share. One of the things I'd like to share with you guys is I have my kind of ongoing list of, organized by topic, references related to so many different internet marketing topics. Search marketing is the focus, but there's a lot more there. If you want access to this, I'm working to get this onto the resources page on my site, but I'm still an old dog, which somebody's feeding, I guess. So I'm still, so I just use the tool I'm most comfortable with here. But it is like a Word document that I can go in, and whenever I answer a question for a client, like today, somebody wanted to know about setting up webmaster tools. So I did some quick research, read an article, scanned an article or two, and then sent them and said, all right, here's some things you should know about this Google tool, Webmaster Tools. I simply put that into here, so Webmaster Tools. And it means that Machen has access to this, where is it? Find a document. There we go. So this is fresh from this morning, where if you want to know, how many people here don't know what Webmaster Tools is? Don't know? It is a way to get information from Google about your website, where your link's coming from, how you're ranking on terms, problem pages on your site, etc. So I've never done a little bit of research. If you want access to this, email me at corion@gmail, and I will share you with this document. There's not only this document, by the way, but there is a whole bunch that are in the same folder. So for example, I did a meeting with Iahoy and I showed them, where's the collection shared with me, hold on. And similar to them, there's a website called Merchant Circle, which I've been using, let's see, oh, I don't have the whole thing shared with you. Hold on, let me log out and show you that, hold on 1 second, and then I'm done. This will be the last thing. So Merchant Circle, how many people are Merchant Circle members here? Only a handful. It is a platform that allows you to be able to put a business description, just create an entry for your business. We find that by being active on Merchant Circle, we get leads directly through it, and we also are getting linking value for Google, saying, oh, here's a pretty good website that this business is active on. Those links that we post there, Google follows and says, ah, here's a new product. Here's a page that we should pay attention to. One of the things that I'm working to do is, let me go to my training folder. again, this is Google Docs. You can share documents with only the people you want to share it with. So this whole folder can be shared with you. But the example is Merchant Circle best practices. So this is in progress. That's the reason I haven't posted on Corian.com yet, but might as well show the core of it to you guys. So this is a step-by-step approach about how to use this website effectively for internet marketing. And load. But for example, one of the things I like to do is, as Mitch just said, I don't know, it's not loading like, right, let me try again. I like to create systems, so it's got a daily checklist. So if you use Merchant Circle, here's what we're using for Corian.com or Batteries for Less. Here's the way to use it. Okay. Daily routine. My point here as far as tools is I want to be a Swiss Army knife to this community as far as internet marketing tools. You can get a free website evaluation at Corian.com. I have a Facebook page where if you want to get the fastest response from me about internet marketing question, post it on my Facebook page, because guess what? If I leave a question open for a few days and don't really write a good answer, I'm doing that in public. So if you want to be able to, and I know this is self-serving, but it's a win-win, right? Because then I can answer questions well, I can create involvement, but also you get your questions answered. So summarize, read the article in LinkedIn Answers, email me if you want access to these Google Docs that I've got, and go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Corian Marketing, if you have questions. And then you're putting it right out there to be able to say, all right, I'm going to answer it well because everybody's looking. All right, that's me. Thanks.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, so anybody feeling like they're being fed by a fire hose yet?
That's my problem. Talk too fast. I'm East Coast.
No, I'm not
from
saying
Pennsylvania.
I'm not saying just you. I mean, it's there's a lot of we're hitting a lot of stuff, and so what I really want you guys to make sure that you get is that all the stuff you're seeing here is available. I'm hoping that you're kind of checking in with a couple things around whatever your bottleneck might be to say that's where I want to jump into this game, is looking at, you know, whether it's capturing leads or conversion or whatever. Here's some tools. There's something, some of the guys at anybody hear of Infusionsoft? Okay. Infusionsoft's a pretty powerful tool, and one of the things that, I don't know if they've coined it or not, but they always reference it, is follow-up failure. In other words, you do a great job of networking or having an event or whatever it might be, and you get the business card, and then it just sits on your desk, you don't make the call, or you lose the card, or you write somebody's phone number down on a piece of paper perfectly, but you forgot to put the name on it, and you don't find that piece of paper until like a week later, and you're like, huh, interesting number, do I dare call it? So these are some tools that help you capture the leads when you get them. They're just, you know, CRM programs, things like Salesforce.com. How many people use Outlook? Okay, there's actually a cool program called Prophet, P-R-O-P-H-E-T, that plugs into Outlook from Avidian, A-V-I-D-I-A-N. So it's the same look and feel while you're inside Outlook, but it basically becomes a CRM tool for you, so that you can kind of track people and tag them and categorize them until they actually become your client. And you can actually kind of do projections with regards to what you think might get paid, what the prospects are, and so forth. And then on the back side, you know, one shopping cart, Infusionsoft are tools where if you want to do big broadcasts with your database and create autoresponders, those are some tools there that you can do that. We'll talk more about that in upcoming meetings with regards to how to really create autoresponders and leverage that into your business. But think about, you know, you get these leads, you're working like heck to get the name, the phone number, the email, then what? How do you keep it all straight? You know, a lot of people I walk into and, you know, it's all on an Excel spreadsheet. You know, they're just scrolling. Not the most effective way to do things. So these are some quick and easy tools that can help with that. Nurturing your prospects. Again, people need to know you, like you, and trust you before they're going to do business with you, typically. maybe they'll do business with you before they trust you, and then sometimes that creates some nightmares for both people. But anyway, there's things that you want to do, because some people aren't ready to buy. You know, we'd love it if they would buy our products when we want to sell it, but it doesn't always work that way. They typically want to buy it when they want to buy. So we need to be there when they're ready. So think of your client as on a merry-go-round. You know, it goes up and down, and around and around. And the only time that they see you, because there's this fence around the merry-go-round, and they can only see up over the fence when their horse is up. But we don't know when their horse is up or when they're ready to buy. So we need stuff all the way around the outside of that fence so that no matter when they're up, they'll see us and think of us. And one of the ways that we do that is obviously through social media, through Facebook and Twitter and our website. But there's other tools that we can get on a regular basis where they can see us. You know, it might be advertising, might be articles. There's things, send out cards. Anybody familiar with send out cards? Okay. It's a tool that's really pretty cool. It's the next best thing to a handwritten card or note. You know, you can even program your own handwriting into the system so it looks like it, but you know, most people know it's not really real. But it's actually really cool because it's that thought. You know, and you can customize it. You can put whatever pictures you want, whatever sayings you want, whatever message you want, and it's just a great way to get in a rhythm of staying in front of people. Animoto is another tool that I love. It's one of those tools where you can put snapshot pictures into a video format, and you can type some text into it and create these cool little videos that you can send out to prospects and clients. Again, great way to stay in touch with people. What are some other tools that you guys know of how to keep in touch with prospects and clients?
Newsletters.
Okay, yeah, so newsletters is a great way to do it. Now, do you create your own newsletter, or do you buy a newsletter and kind of customize it?
I make mine in Infusionsoft.
Okay, so there's ways to do it with Infusionsoft or one shopping cart, so you can create newsletters. You can do it on Constant Contact or iContact or some other tools that you can create nice looking newsletters that go out. And you know, there's so much content out there, it's not that hard to create a newsletter. You don't have to be like super original, you don't want to steal or plagiarize, but research is just stealing from more than one person. So, you know, you can start to see themes that are out there, okay? And so you can read different themes and then put together, is Virginia intellectual property attorney? Does she practice that?
She does a lot of different variety of business law, but she doesn't do patents, so I'm not sure. She does IP property.
Okay. So for intellectual property, I mean, you can't blatantly rip people off, but you can, you know, if it's a hot topic and you read several articles, you can create an amalgamation of that, and that can be your newsletter if you want. People love, you know, the top 10 or 5 ways to do this or 7 ways to avoid this, you know, so think in lists when you do your newsletters or communications, because usually people will stop and read those. If it's just a bunch of text, you know, and your headline's not strong enough, most people won't read it. Okay, converting sales. You gotta have good sales copy. You want to create strong landing pages. Remember, you don't have to be your sales force. You're probably going to be a very integral component of that, but you can actually outsource the sales of your products and services. You can get outsourcing of telemarketing, outsources of autoresponders, and these are just some sites that you can go to check that out. So once we've converted people into a client, now we've got to deliver. How many people actually have hard products that they deliver? Okay, and who does the fulfillment? Who, you know, creates it, packs it? Okay, so inside jobs. Okay, it's a lot of work. Yes.
No, I've actually hired a company that does the order input over the phone. They do the packaging, delivery for me, and I pay them on a piecemeal basis.
Okay.
They store the inventory as well.
Okay, so they're fulfillment, and is it one of these or a different one?
No, it's a private company.
Okay. Would you be willing to share that?
I don't think it would matter to the group, but they're called TLEA Enterprises in Reno, Nevada.
Okay, so not too far away. So again, a lot of different resources that are out there. Check them out if you have a product that, you know, if it's consuming for you to pack it up and get it out and do all that stuff. That's eating up your time, or you could be leveraging it in a more effective way. Think about outsourcing it. Upselling your customers, having different things that they can buy once they bought a main product from you, okay? I had a marketing professor that once told me it was easier to get a second kiss than it is the first kiss on a date, okay? That's marketing, okay?
That's wishful thinking.
If you did a good job on the first, right?
And it's a comment on how you kiss.
Right, so you've got to look at, are you delivering in a good fashion? If so, it's a lot easier to sell a satisfied client another product or service because they know you. There's a predictable experience there. Most people I know, they get one sale, one client, and then they forget all about that client and they're off trying to get another prospect to convert to a client. And they're not leveraging their own database. There's a saying, mine the diamonds in your own backyard. If you have a strong list, start to really market your own list and you can have some success with that. One of the ways is, if you don't have it yet, is creating a membership group for your clients where they pay, rather than them having to pay a big ticket, maybe it's $29 or $49 a month, where they can get access to your content. Corian hasn't caught on to that yet. He just gives it away for free.
But I've got a business plan.
I know. But, so get it while it's free. So the point is, though, the content that you're creating, the value that you're creating for your clients, you can repurpose that information oftentimes, put a little different window dressing on it, house it in one of these membership sites, and then charge your clients to have access to that. It's a great way to double profits. Okay?
Let me tie that into LinkedIn Answers. One of the ways, because I'm not blogging yet, I just don't have the time yet when I'm developing content. So when I go to LinkedIn Answers and I answer other people's questions about my areas of expertise, I just copy that to an email to myself, and now I've got a whole folder with all of these answers that I've written that I can then customize for whatever I might want to do to send to another content, to another customer or a blog or something. So if you can have one piece of information that you can use in multiple ways, again, with being a content producer, it's really important to not just get overwhelmed by saying, how can I get by with doing a blog post a week when I can't do, feed my dog?
Yeah, it's repurposing the different thoughts and ideas and strategies that you have that can help other people, in video fashion, recording fashion, auditory and written fashion, posting it on the web in different places. There are all ways to repurpose that. So give thought to, how can you upsell your customers? They like you, they want to support you, they like your content, continue to provide it for them. Getting referrals and affiliates. Affiliate marketing is a whole other animal. We could spend a whole program on that. If you don't have an affiliate source yourself for other people to sell your products and services, think about it, okay? You can go to companies like ClickBank or Commission Junction and very quickly upload your product or service and then have other people sell your product or service on their website or through their Twitter or Facebook or wherever they want to market your product or service, and they get a little spiff off the top, and you're making money with this stealth sales force that's out there that you're never going to meet, but you get the money. It's a pretty cool way to do it. Along with affiliates is getting referrals. How many people actually ask their clients for referrals? Okay. How many people are comfortable asking their clients for referrals? Okay, that's awesome. There's a lot of people that would rather get pushed into traffic, use your term, than actually ask a client for referrals. And it's not that they, have trouble with it. It's because they're wired kind of incorrectly. In other words, they grew up thinking, don't talk to strangers, don't speak until spoken to, and it's not polite to ask people about finances or money or things of that nature. And then all of a sudden we're asked to go ask people, hey, who do you know that I can go talk to and maybe sell them something? It's awkward. So have some language that helps you have that discussion. Okay, one of the best ways I know is actually just checking in with people and asking them, how do you feel about the type of work that we've done together? when they tell you, hey, I really like what you've done, then you pivot to, good, I'm glad you feel that way. Who do you care enough about? And that's going to shrink down that huge sea of faceless names down to 4 or 5 people. Who do you know that you care enough about that could benefit from this same type of service? And hopefully you've done your homework during your fact finder discovery process that you might know some of the important people in their life that you can actually feed to them. You know, you mentioned that you play golf with so-and-so, or you mentioned that you're on the board of directors of this organization. Do you happen to know so-and-so? Would you mind if I used your name as a character reference with regards to the type of work that I do when I give them a call? Okay, nobody ever says no to that question. Would you mind if I use your name as a character reference with regards to the type of work that I do when I call Jerry? Most people say, no, please use my name. Great, so now when I call Jerry, I drop the name. It's a wonderful way to just feed into it. John?
I like if somebody's bought something from you, is to ask them how you can help them get business also.
Yeah, who was it, Dale Carnegie, that said, you know, it's better to be interested than interesting. You know, so if we take the time to be intimate with other people, think of intimacy as into me, you see, right? If we look into other people and find out what's going on with them, oftentimes we have solutions, or we know of people that can provide those solutions to help them get what they want. And that's huge. You know, if you make yourself indispensable, you're golden. And that's the trick. And one of the ways to do that is through a strong referral base. Okay, ongoing management tools. Couple up here, Dropbox, you send it. You know, if you're having to ship some big documents, electronic documents to people, and it's hanging up your server, you can use tools like Dropbox and you send it to get it out there. One of the things that we use is an online scheduling system, so that when people do hit our site and they want to schedule some time with one of our coaches, they can go, and we use actually Tumble, and what it does is it syncs up with our calendar, and people can see instantly where the openings are, and then they just click it, put their name in it, and all of a sudden, you know, our calendar's getting populated. So, and you can set it, you know, so it doesn't over schedule you, because that can happen too. But they're cool. One's called Tumble. Another one that's really cool is appointmentplus.com. And again, you can they've got plugins that can go right into your website. So there's a section, you know, where people can see your calendar and click on it. Basecamp HQ is a very cool tool if you're leading projects and you've got several people that you're trying to herd the cats, if you will. Everybody knows what's going on, when it's going on. Highrise HQ, that's another like CRM, like Zoho or Salesforce, where you can work with putting the name in and then knowing when to call and what you said, remember the conversation. Processing credit cards, you know, One Shopping Cart, Infusionsoft, Practice Pay Solutions, Authorize.net, Square, you know, and what was the one, Equid, you know, different tools. You need some to process credit cards, make sure it's easy for you to work with. Stamps.com or the United States Post Office is another tool that we use. CopyTalk, has anybody ever heard of CopyTalk? Okay. This is a tool where if you're like in a business where you go out and meet clients and you have to take notes and you're in the car and so forth, it's an 800 number that you can call. It's like a dictation service. You call the 800 number and then you just speak your notes, you know, how the meeting went, what you want to remember to do, what you need to get the client, and then hang up, and then it sends you an email of that message that you just spoke in written form. So it's a really, really cool tool. It's not cheap though. I think right now I'm paying like $70 a month for it. I know there's cheaper things out there. It's just I'm so entrenched with it that that's the one I go with.
Drag and Dictate, free.
Okay, Drag and Dictate free.
Yeah, on iPad or on iPhone.
Or you can
Okay.
use Umail through your phone.
What is that?
Email.
Yeah, your iPhone
Email.
does that.
I don't have my iPhone.
Oh,
My
sorry.
iPhone uses. You can also use Google Voice, but you get very amusing translations.
That's great.
Yeah, and the thing that's nice about
Google
CopyTalk
Is that
is
where
there's
you like to
like
feed the dog on?
Don't do that, it's terrible.
there's no limit to it, you know, so you
Drag
can
and Dictate
record
free.
an hour and have it basically show up just as you said it. Yeah.
not a dictation, but another tool to share with you is KeePass, KeePass.com. And it's a password manager. So if you're anything like us and you have 9 million passwords for 800 email accounts and every other thing you do, and my husband could go much more into detail about the triple super secret encryption, whatever that goes behind it. All I know is he trusts it, and that means it's passed some sort of big test. So, but it can also help you generate, really good, strong passwords, and helps you, you can store them and manage them. So that's something that I use every single day, and it's great to be able to KeePass.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Again, if you have a lot of passwords, rather than write them down in your book that you're going to leave somewhere and everybody can have access to your stuff, it's another one of those. And it's better than the KEE.
Okay.
KEEPASS.
And there's also LastPass. I've been using that for years. It's wonderful. And it does the same thing. It'll generate really powerful encrypted messages. But what I like about it is I could log on from any computer in the world with my email and a username, and now I've got access to all my passwords on my phone, iPad, and laptop.
We use
And
ours
free
in
is a
conjunction
good
with
thing.
Dropbox,
Yeah.
so that's how we have access to ours.
You have to remember your password in order to access it.
Just the one to Dropbox.
Just the one.
just one today.
Just,
If you don't have a lot of passwords, that's why you get one of those programs.
So the trick here is that there's a ton of resources out there. Don't be shy, share them. These are just kind of some starters. There's going to be a ton more.